questions?
Yeah, I don't know.
Injuries, health overall.
Yeah. You know, this time of year, you just get those, I mean, a lot of football's been played, a lot of wear and tear. But I think, you know, I think we're gonna be okay. Alvin's running around up there today, and, yeah. So, you know, as long as we keep progressing, I think we'll be okay.
Is he getting a little bit of ongoing treatment for this, or?
Our whole team gets ongoing treatment. That's just kind of how it goes at this point of the year.
So Keith Collins should be good for Saturday.
It should be. I mean, we'll see. You know, I mean, I thought a lot of guys should be good for Saturday. You know, in the last couple of weeks, we're still waiting on some guys. But he was out there today running around.
Did the injury happen on that sack on that first play that he?
I don't think so. I don't know exactly what it was. I don't think that's when he got it though. I saw him a couple of plays. Might have been next series. I'm not sure. It was kind of a little lame. Yeah.
What happens, a player that, single player that significant, and he goes out besides his obvious skill, what does that do to the scheme and what you do in the overall defense?
Yeah, it was challenging. You know, we had Corey Luthen kick down there a little bit to give us some work there. And that Corey did a heck of a job. You know, battling at that position. He hasn't really, he's played down there in certain packages, but not that extensively. He plays so much on special teams as well. You know, I thought he really did a nice job going in there and battling hard. You know.
What did you think of Siler's performance in the game?
You know, again, I thought he did some good things. I really did. There was a couple things that he could have got done. You know, I thought overall, you know, we kicked 3 field goals, and I thought if we could have scored a touchdown or 2, that would have dramatically changed things. And I think, you know, that red zone offense is critical to us. I think Cameron Bentley goal and those, you know, that field goal team's been doing a nice job to get us points, but we can get touchdowns, and I think that kind of changes the mojo of a lot of things.
What you described the passing game as painful after the game.
What's that?
You described the passing game as painful after the game. What needs to happen on that?
Well, yeah, we just need to be able to throw the ball downfield a little bit more and make some plays, you know. You know, it's nice we got one to Braden, you know, big chunk play. Had 2 other chances to Dante, we couldn't quite get it done. And, you know, we need to hit a few of those. We need to, you know, I don't know. We just need to be more efficient in there. You know, I think our run game is solid, but I think it can, you know, our run game can get better if we can pass the ball better.
If you could, I mean, the vertical passing game, especially that mid-range, you know, 10 to 20 yards, is Siler hesitant to throw that? Is it not anticipating that not being called?
Yeah, I think, you know, a little bit of combinations, you know, protection things. Sometimes he wants to get out there and run. But that's an area we definitely got to get better at.
Does he have, it looks to us like it's zone read, you know, when he's handing the ball to Shaq or whoever.
Yeah.
Are those usually zone reads? Does he usually have the option to keep it? And would you like to see him keep it more?
No, not necessarily. I think there are a lot of reads on those, not always, but a lot of times. And, you know, there may be 1 or 2 a game, say, it's sort of probably a good one to keep. But, you know, he carries the ball a decent amount. You know, go back and look how much he's carrying. So, I don't think that's a big concern if he needs to pull and carry the ball.
We spent obviously a lot of time the last couple of weeks talking about Shaq and balancing his workload. How do you think you handled that Saturday, more or less?
Yeah, and we'll kind of go as we go here. You know, I think, you know, how we not on that side and him not on that side, you know, things changed a little bit. And so, you know, running backs going a little bit, and so maybe we'll balance it back over there a little bit more.
And is John Ross sort of in the same boat now? Would you like to see him more on offense a little bit, or do you guys just feel like you really need him more?
Yeah, you know, I think we'd like to see what he can do over there at that corner position. You know, again, it's hard to really split reps between, you know, especially when the guys new and young to a position.
It's hard to take a guy who's been as explosive as John is off of an offense that's been struggling.
You know, it's hard to take all kind, yeah, you know, all type of good players, whether Shaq or John Ross or whatever. We got to kind of bounce that and see where we need the most help and
the depth chart, you have John, listed at number 1 at corner, and then you don't have Shaq in the depth at running back.
And so, we'll kind of keep, he's always on that depth chart, running back. But maybe a little bit more involved on the defensive side of things.
Is he a defensive starter then this week?
Yeah, he'll start on that defensive side, and we'll kind of go with that.
With only 3 games left in the regular season, is this maybe an opportunity where you get to maybe use them a little bit more as opposed to maybe earlier where you have to kind of manage their reps and turns?
Well, it's still, again, I think, when you're playing, certainly Shaq on that offensive side of the ball, I think we're playing as much as we can. And that running back position is a tough part because there's just a lot of pounding. It's hard. I mean, we got to be on defense a little bit. We want to play more, but it's just as much as he can handle. And so, it's a different physical game out there.
So 15, 16 reps is probably what you would expect out of him typically
On what side?
on offense,
I'm not
as far as carries.
Yeah, I mean, we never go in there with like, hey, we want to get him this many carries. It's more like, hey, he's going on offense, and how's he feeling? How can he keep giving the ball? Can he go on defense? Can he get a whole lot that last, kind of back and forth?
You mentioned the quarterbacks in the Pac-12. You face another one against Arizona. You had a chance to stop them at all, or any thoughts on it?
We're watching them as we speak, and they do a heck of a job. And this is a really good team, no question about it. You check their scores, beating Oregon, right down the wire with UCLA. It's another one of those really, really good teams. I'm saying it every single week. It's like things going on here in this league. We kind of do that going in.
Is Arizona doing anything offensively or defensively that's tremendously unique or different than your guys have seen?
Well, that they kind of run that 3-3 stack defense, and it is different than what we've seen. No one else really runs that. People with that and some things and their defense and stuff. That's what they do, and it is a little different.
What does that change for you up front?
Well, it changes rules. It really does. It's something we haven't seen a whole lot of. So, short time to get ready for how we're going to block this play, that play, and protect it. We do a great job.
Chris, you've probably experienced more losing in this season than you have at Boise State. But don't apologize to fans Saturday night. Why did you think to do that?
Well, I mean, it's just, I know how passionate they are. I know how much they care about this, this program. And, we all do. We're trying to do our best. We're trying to win games and playing a lot of good football teams. And we've got to continue to make progress. And, I know how fans are. I know how much they care about it. I just want them to know that we care about them. And we're trying to do the best we can.
Are you at the point now where you can just kind of go with your system and your process and just go with it, or are you still having to kind of tinker with it a little bit to adjust to personnel and kind of what was already at Washington before?
Yeah, I think we're always adjusting. I mean, you just can't just say, hey, this is what we're doing. This is something you got to figure out what's here and how to best things that the kids can handle, those type of things.
But what's maybe been the biggest thing that's maybe continually ongoing for you right now?
Well, I talked about it last week before. Is a lot of it is just kind of banked reps. What are we spending time on? We'll get these guys into a groove a little bit, and then they have a history for them to add something new. To add new things. It's a slower process than if you're in place for a while.
Coach with Shaq, going back over on the defense. Wayne obviously played on Saturday. Was LeVon close?
Yeah, LeVon, I think he's ready to go. And, we should get those guys going.
Has this first year been tougher than you thought it would be?
It's been hard. It's been hard. I think anytime you go somewhere new, you're figuring everything out as you go. I think that's that's always challenging. But I didn't come in here thinking how hard is this going to be. You just kind of take it one day or 1 week at a time and keep grinding.
Is there anything, 6 games in being a Pac-12 coach, you face Pac-10 teams in the past, anything different or unexpected about what you face week in, week out, or pretty much what you kind of
I
expect?
think it's pretty much what I thought. I mean,
When you look at Arizona, do you see them being as close to Oregon in terms of maybe scheme and speed and everything else you might see offensively?
It might be the fastest team. You know, they run a lot of plays. I mean, they go, they do a great job. So, you know, it's similar to that. They, you know, everybody's got their unique spin on the offense. No one's like, oh, this is just like them. I mean, everybody's unique enough to make it their own. And it's not like we're going to play these guys exactly like we play these guys. And so I think that's what you think about this conference as well.
Another thing that you brought up, you know, from the UCLA game, and it was also an issue for Colorado, was just the slow start. Guys seem to come out a little bit flat, lack of energy out there. You just didn't see guys flying around, jumping around. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and so I don't know. I mean, I thought that they were ready to go, and it seemed like there was good energy in the locker room and those type of things. We didn't play up to how we wanted to play. You know, certainly, you know, the second half, we're pleased with that effort, that focus, but we need to come out with that kind of mentality from the start, that urgency from the start. Get that going, that's going to help us tremendously.
Consider Arizona's past. What do you think of those weeks are? What's impressed you the most about Arizona's offense?
Just that they're really good at what they do. You know, they don't get into a whole bunch of different formations. They have their compliments off it, and they just execute really well. You know, I think this whole team plays really, really hard on all three phases. And those are the things that really jump out at me in the early, you know, studying this opponent.
You had a number of, you had a 100-yard kick return, which is a good thing.
Count.
Well, you had a lot of returns that fell, that you ended up deep.
Yep.
What was happening on those?
Yep.
Several times?
Yeah, guys weren't making their blocks, and that was one of the better kick coverage teams that we'd seen. We kind of knew that going in, and I think sometimes when we're playing good teams, it's a little bit like that. You know, you get hit in the mouth, and all of a sudden you get something. You got one almost to the close to the 50, and you take 100. And so, you know, we probably like not as many opportunities to get as we got. But I'm proud of like those guys and John Ross for keep hammering in there, because that's hard. You know, it's like, man, is anything going to hold up? And I think that's, you know, a lot of times that can be one of the harder things to really do, is to hold up against fast guys in space. You know, especially when you kick, we always say this, you know, good kick equals good coverage. And so you get that thing down to the goal line with some hang time, you know, 3 to 5 yards makes a tremendous difference in terms of ball hanging up and how fast the team can get down there. And so sometimes you see the ball go to the goal line, but it's not great hang time. We love those. But, you know, UCLA has looked at them kind of hanging up there. They've got fast guys that cover very well. They go out on that. And so, you know, I thought we did a solid job against a really good kick team. And, you know, take them back and make points, give them about 50. That was good. And speaking of those things, you know, I thought the first, going back to the little bit of slow start and those type of things, you know, that first quarter, we don't do much on offense. We're playing on that short field. We kind of get backed up, punt it out of there, we're just barely over midfield, and then keep out. We couldn't flip the field. And I think those things really catch you. You know, eventually, you know, short fields drop. I mean, we'll always try to get those on offense. I mean, we feel differently running out on the field than most offenses do. And so that hurt us the first half of the short fields. Second half was a little bit better.
Chris, on the long touchdown by UCLA to make it 14-0, it looked like Nigel was almost asking Buddha where he was during the play.
Yeah.
What's going on out
He
there?
just, you know, pressure mistakes. He just got to come. Just go play fast.
Was that Buddha just bailing out maybe 50?
No. I mean, not needs to stay with him, and you know, for whatever reason, he was a little bit confused. But that's his.
Any further comment from the Pac-12 on the fake punt or whatever you had going?
No,
Yes.
we haven't talked to those guys. I mean, the best. It's hard to explain. You know, we had one of our guys come off, and that gave us 10 guys. We use different personnel on our punt teams. We had one of our guys come off, and it gave was 10 guys. And so I think they thought it was 11 guys and we reflect, and they realized it was 10. We had reset the clock. We used to delay a game on that as they were doing that. And so all this was going on. We had a hard time figuring out what the heck was going on. That's the best I can do for you right there.
Who's been your most consistent offensive player in your career?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think, I think Colin Tanagawa's done a nice job inside. I think James Atoy has done a nice job of moving him around. Those guys have played pretty well. The rest of the guys kind of, we had some guys banked out there with those running backs, leading to something, even Shaq over there. Yeah, probably cover those linemen. Josh Perkins done a good job and been out for a few games.
What do you think is the next evolution in your process? You have to kind of get that signature win. You have to figure out a way to get over the hump with something like that.
Yeah, we just need to figure out how to get better. I mean, that's how I think more so than that signature win. I mean, I think we just got to keep getting better. I feel like we're progressing and getting more right there. We just got to come, keep going to work and practice. And the bank reps I talk about, and really feel like we're in a groove. We can execute, when things aren't wide open, throw balls under pressure and put them in there when guys are tightly covered and make plays. They're making more plays. It was good to see. Brady Lynn is going to make a play. I mean, that was really good execution. It was more of those things. We decided to throw it on time, threw it to his outside shoulder. Brady kind of holds the line, fades, catch it outside. And when the ball's thrown perfectly and caught perfectly, to me, there's no defense for it. He plays good defense in one. There's no defense to that. And so, we just got to get a little bit more of those. The guys making plays, just doing it exactly how we need to do. Be done. We've seen a lot of good players on the other side.
How's the team's confidence right now? Starting to get too much, or just kind of?
Yeah, we're back to work. I mean, that's what it is. And we got to stay strong. Keep battling. We've got a bunch of 3 regular season games left. We got to go. We got a lot of football to play.
How important is it for you to get that 7th win and get that full game and get the extra practices?
I think that all of it's important. There's no question. I mean, every week is important. We make progress or not.
What are you guys, if there's one thing about the passing game that you really like to point out and think would the most help, what is that? What do you tell your guys to focus on?
I mean, everybody's got their things. The receiver has their things. The O-line has their things. Siler has his things. Just if, maybe the whole pocket presence thing, to be able to hang in there, let some things develop. But I don't think it just is one thing. I think Coach Smith is working with Siler on some things. Coach Ross, there's no question. Our pass protection wasn't as good as it needed to be against some pretty good pass rushers last week. And Arizona's going to do the same thing.